tail there while she is toileting. Lovely. But Nyala are actually about the right size prey for a leopard. So even though they can eat a lot of different species, this paper did go on to say what the optimum size prey was for a leopard, and they actually looked at it being around the 40-kilo mark. So that would put the impala, the female Nyala, in that bracket, and then failing that, somewhere between the 15 and the 50-kilo mark. That's kind of where they take most of the prey from. But as I say, whatever goes, these leopards. And you may even get some leopards actually specialising in some food. So if you, I remember hearing there was actually a leopard that fished on a reserve, and it got moved to a different reserve, and the people where it got moved to actually said, "Hey, you've given me a dodgy leopard here. You know, it's not well. It's you know, losing condition." And the people said, "Well, have you got fish in your dam?" And they said, "No." He says, "Well, this leopard fishes. Fish. This leopard likes to go fish." There we go. Sorry, I'm brain up. But leopard likes to go fish. So damn this leopard, it'll come right, and it actually did. But if you read the books, they're not supposed to fish. It's not something that leopards tend to do. So again, as we share the information with each other and learn from each other, we actually get to understand these animals so much more. It really is quite amazing what they can turn their claws to. There we go. Stay safe, ladies. Stay safe. Keep your eyes peeled and let us know. So Nyala actually have a very deep bark. It does sound like a dog barking, and it comes from the stomach area, whereas if you hear baboons calling, it sounds like someone trying to shout. So I'm not going to do it while these ladies are here and put them on edge. Safety in numbers. More eyes and ears to look out for predators. That's why they're in a small herd. But obviously if they're in a huge herd, then they're going to be quite easy to detect by the predators. That's why you tend to get the bush antelope either in pairs or in small herds, so that they still have that safety, but it's also not drawing attention to themselves either. So let's carry on, and I can do the little call for you. So just before I answer Riti's question that's come through, let me do the call now we're out of the way of the Nyala. So the Nyala, the kudu, the bushbuck all have like a deep bark, so it is kind of like a bah! Whereas the baboons, as I say, they sound like it comes from the throat, and it's more like a human calling, so it's like a bahu, but it's more from here. They tend to have 2 syllables. So I haven't heard baboons calling. So, or any of the spiral-horned antelope. And you do get the snorts as well. So the impala and the zebra, like. So we're definitely keeping a listen out for everybody. But interesting question, Riti. And Riti wants to know, do herbivores sleep during the night, especially because a lot of the predators are actually nocturnal, they're active during the night, and they rest, but they will often rest during the day as well, and they will, even though they will actually sleep, they don't take long periods of sleep. So that, as I say, they'll maybe during the heat of the day find some shelter from the sun, and they might just relax, chew the curds, and maybe have a snooze while the others are also semi-awake, so you might get some still grazing or browsing. Do you hear something? Drive back? You see? So we're just at the little pan, Galago pan. Are you looking in the tree or on the... I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Oh, the stump. Ah, okay. Oh, you're branch spotting as well. That's usually my game. That would have been a very good spot though. Ah, and we do have somebody right at the top of the tree. That was a pigeon, a green pigeon. It's just that little bit too far away, I think, to see. There we go. The green coming through. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, so they will rest, as I say, and make use of the extra eyes and ears to keep a lookout for predators. And at night, they'll quite often go to a really open area, especially like the impala. They go to the open area. So if there are any predators around, they've got more chances of detecting them. But obviously, they lose the ability to see that clearly, so that's why the predators do tend to hunt at night under the cover of darkness, to actually increase the odds of detecting them. So it's this balance, if you like, and if they get that balance slightly wrong in either way, if the predator misjudges and the antelope are on the ball, they obviously lose a meal. But if the antelope misjudge, then obviously the predator gains the meal. So it's just this tipping all the time, which is really interesting. And obviously there's adaptations to try and limit the predators actually being able to get hold of them, and obviously the predators have counteracted with adapting their behavior and strategies as well for hunting. So yes, it's life's literally just on the balance in the bush the whole time. And even on a full moon, the predators, unfortunately, the predators are at a disadvantage during a full moon, because obviously the light that's casted down onto the earth helps the herbivores to see a lot more clearly at night. So the predators do find it more difficult to hunt during a full moon. And welcome on board, James. Oh. So James wanting to know what animals the most suited for the winter. As I say, everyone does have adaptations for the dry periods. As we've discussed, the antelope with the 4-chamber stomach, they can get a lot of water out or moisture out of their food. Some of the smaller antelope are able to actually get moisture from the food. The larger antelope obviously can retain a lot of water. It's all to do with the adaptations in their kidneys, especially like the oryx and the eland, which we don't really see here. They prefer much drier habitats. Eland, there are some in the greater Kruger, I believe, but they don't tend to come this south. I think they tend to stay up the north, if I remember rightly, and to the east. I think they go into the mountainous areas, but they've got quite a long, what they call the loop of Henle, and that's inside the kidney, and depending on the length of that loop of Henle, it allows a lot of water transfer. So the longer it is, the more water transferred into the kidney, and that allows them, as I say, to absorb as much moisture as possible, and it allows them to adapt to the heat. And also the oryx and the eland have the same sort of blood network as the giraffe, the wonderful net. I think it's called the magic net or wonderful net, the rete mirabile, which are the tiny blood vessels right at the base of the brain, and it actually tricks the brain into thinking it's cooler than what it is. So the heat is transferred in those blood vessels just before the blood goes into the brain. So as I say, the brain thinks it is actually cooler, so that again allows them to adapt to the hotter temperatures. So the animals here, if it's cold, they'll find shelter in the termite mounds where it might be slightly warmer. As soon as the sun comes out, they can bask in the sun. And as I say, it can be behaviour, it can be actual adaptations. And as Byron says, he's adapted to the winter because of his coat. And as I say, I think I've actually adapted more to the cooler temperatures again than what I was when I first came out, because as I say, I would normally be wrapped up in everything. But I think it is also much warmer than what it was even a few years ago during the winter. This is quite a mild winter, and as I say, those clouds, they're not normal for winter, but they are looking quite ominous. I wonder if they are going to bring rain today. So we're going to carry on looking around quarantine for you, see if we can find any mammals. I'm still hoping for those spots though. And we'll go to a wrapped up Byron.
So Tara, what do you mean by my winter coat? Is it the scruff around the face, or my hair is a little long at the moment? No. Sandy patch, gonna drive along that area, and then I think I may head down towards Gallego and also just have a look. Maybe I can give her a hand, maybe together we can find out. I haven't had any sign of anything else just yet, but I wonder if it hasn't got to do with the weather. It's cloudy, cooler conditions. It's amazing how weather can affect the movement of animals. Just listening to the radio. Hold on a second. No, okay, no updates. Just sounds like those lions are still all the way in Torchwood. 2 males, sounds like 2 of the Birmingham males. It's a pity. Would have been wonderful to see them. On my last drive, I've been fired again. But we're working on getting me back later this month. I will be back later this month, I think. Yes, I will be. And then just up until the beginning of September, then I'm not here for quite a while again. I've got some trips coming up, taking people on safari to different areas, which is exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Riti, you say happy holidays. Thank you, Riti. I wish it was holidays, really. It's not really holidays for me. I've still got work I need to do, and I carry on with it. But I do get, I suppose, a chance to take it easy to an extent. Nikki, you say if I was fired, we'd start a petition to save me. Thank you, Nikki. I'm only joking though, obviously. Lucy, I drove down Twin Dams a little bit earlier this morning. We had a look around there, and I drove past Twin Dams for leopard, and there was no sign of anything around there, Lucy, but we did check there. But I think what I might do is I'm going to do a big little loop around and then head back down You know what I want to do is I'd like to go and have a look at that hyena den. Just because I haven't been there yet, believe it or not, in all the weeks I've been here. I haven't been near that hyena den. So let's go and have a look and see if there's any activity there. I'm not sure in this weather. But why don't we go have a look there? So I'm probably going to be at the den in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Depending on if we spot something along the way. Maybe we find a leopard. Okay, now I wonder if Tara's moved out of the area around Gallagher. I wonder where she's going to head now. I wonder if Tara, I think you maybe check down towards Treehouse Dam. I don't know, there's often that young male comes in there. Maybe if we spread out a bit. Let's see what Tara's plan is and what she decides.
Do you know what? This is getting a bit scary now. I was thinking exact the same thing. So we've just crossed the quarantine area, and I was just thinking, you know what? Let's just have a wander down to Treehouse Dam just to see if there's anything happening around there, and then maybe pop back up again, because I think Chongile is in that drainage line at the back. There's no tracks coming out of there that I've seen. So we are going to head down to Treehouse Dam, see if there's anything happening around there. Maybe another leopard that's popped up. It sounds like we're the only ones out on this side, so it's always good if you've got two vehicles, try and cover ground, see if there's any tracks anywhere, and see what else we can find. I'd love to actually find a little dwarf mongoose colony to sit with. They are so much fun. And we'll see if we can find another whodunit for you in the meantime as well. But just thinking about some other adaptations for the winter. Some of the animals will actually get slightly thicker fur, just to help with obviously the night time. Because during the day it is still usually quite a pleasant 25 degrees. So it is really the night where it drops. I mean, I've lived in the Leidenberg Mountains and we've had frost on the ground and it's got down to -2, and believe me, it just feels even colder than -2 because you have the heat of the day as well, which has always been my argument. That people said, oh yeah, but you're from the UK, you can handle the cold, and it's always me that, there's a squirrel on the ground there, it's always me that feels the cold. There he goes. Run! Run! Keeping unusually quiet. So yeah, I think it is the extreme in temperature that us British people cannot handle. Well, certainly me anyway, because I was always the first to feel the cold. So I think we're going to head down, carry on heading down towards Finman's Cut 9, cut across the Treehouse Dam. We'll let you know if we do find anything of interest. But in the meantime, I think we have a wonderful surprise. Hopefully they won't run away like everything seems to be doing this side with Jamie, and I think she has some cats for you. Finally some cats, yay!
Here in Kenya, where we are sitting not quite smack bang in the middle of the migration, but just a little way off to the side. Now, a quick introduction for those of you that are perhaps new to these live safaris. My name is Jamie. This morning Manu is on camera with me, and we have Chandra in the back as well, who's been filming some behind the scenes stuff. They've been on their balloon ride already, and we have a male lion. We actually have 2 male lions, and what's funny about these male lions is that they're mocking me. because this is where I had these two little boys a couple of weeks ago. I can't even remember when it was. And it was one of our all-night evenings where we were going to stay up all night, follow the animals, and they lay down and looked, for all intents and purposes, like they were fast asleep, at which point I decided to take that opportunity to reverse the car a little bit so that I could hop out for a moment. I don't think I need to paint you a picture, and they disappeared completely. And it's the same two boys in exactly the same place where I lost them, as if to say, we've been waiting for you the entire time. Two young males, and in fact when I first met them I was seriously surprised to see them roaring and scent marking around this area. It was very strange and unexpected. Now Donna, very good morning to you. You'd like to know if lions often sleep in trees in the Mara. They do. They regularly sleep in trees, and the reason that they do that is to escape the tsetse flies and essentially to find themselves a nice cool breezy patch. So a tree works very well. They'll plant themselves on a nice... I haven't seen any male lions do it yet. I've seen the cubs and I've seen the lionesses up in trees, Balanites in particular, and also, of course, the beautiful shepherd's trees that we get out here. It is a very unexpected picture if you, like me, have spent a lot of time in South Africa where we do not see lions in trees. It's something that I found very disconcerting initially, to all of a sudden see this massive lion paw dangling out of a branch that didn't really look like it could support them. I don't know who these males are. I have absolutely no idea, but that's relatively common out here. I will try and find out where their origins are, where they have come from. But isn't he adorable? Look at his little scruffy mane. Oh, we're going to have some play. There you go, using the side of the road as cover. Yes, very subtle. Nobody can see you, slinky cat. Slow advance. Now, chitty chatty Meg, while we watch this little chap who looks a little bit like an adolescent boy trying to grow a beard, I'd like to know when he will get his full mane. And around about 5 or so, it'll be completely filled out. They're going to pounce on each other shortly. Let's just watch how this plays out, and then I'll tell you a bit more about their manes. Creeping forward. Aww. Little scrap turned into a little bit of affection. So we're talking about their manes. Their manes will only really fill out completely at around about 5, and actually it's only when you're looking at a male lion of around 7 years old that they've really fully got a magnificent mane of hair. At this age, and I would guess at these male lions being around about 2.5 maybe. Obviously the one on the left is slightly older, maybe. But at this age, they are truly entertaining looking. I've got such a soft spot for young male lions. Hello, my boy. Oh, you're a big boy. You might not be fully grown yet, but you're not lacking in size. You're going to be cheeky. Huh? Hello, my boy. Here we go. Don't, Hey! Don't sniff my tire. Don't lick my tire, please. It wouldn't be the first time. No, you can come. It's all right. You're welcome. We've had it a few times with the lions in the Mara where they slightly overstep the boundaries just a little bit, and they just need a gentle reminder. It's not that they're vicious or angry or going to attack us or jump into the car. They're just so used to vehicles moving around that they occasionally forget that perhaps it's not such a good idea to come and sniff our tire. And in fact, Brent had one lioness lick his tire, and I had a sub-adult cub that wanted to try and jump into the car onto play with Dave in the back in the camera. So it's just something for us to keep an eye on. He's now put himself... This is so inconvenient, mister. He's in the shade. He's in in the shade of the vehicle. I'm not quite sure how we're going to shift around. I'm going to have to switch on so I can reposition. Let's go back across to Tara. I hope she's enjoying her bushveld bumbles.
Hello, I'm Tara. Oh dear, Jamie. No, Tara's looking around for leopards. I'm heading towards the hyena den. Now, I actually stopped. We were occupied by a bird party. And it's off well-settled stalk. Hey, we have not seen one of these for ages. Now, speaking about birds, now this is unusual to see them walking through the thicket. Let's see if we can get a view there quickly. There it goes. Look at that. Saddle-billed stork. Wonderful. Now, this is a very unusual habitat for a saddle-billed stork. I've never seen them moving through a thicket like this before. You can just see it. Hold on a second. Let's see. It might come out. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful saddle-billed stork. It looks like a male. I see his very dark black eye. The females have got yellow around the eye, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I haven't got it the other way around. I don't think so. Tara's wondering where I was. I'm on Gallagher shortcut. I'm close to the hyena den. But it's just one. Now, often these storks are in pairs. Yeah, the male has got the dark eye, the female has got yellow around the eye. And that is wonderful, but it was such a surprise. I did see one flying over us the other day. Let's see, there we go. Oh, that's great, it's going to come up. Oh, lovely. Craig, let me move forward for you a little bit. There we go. Oh, wow. As I said, that's quite unusual, just because the saddle-billed storks are often around water holes or dams. Now, to find one walking through a thicket like this is quite unusual, unless, because it's winter, I'm trying hard to find food out here too. You can see that very beautiful yellow saddle on the beak, and that's why it's called the saddle-billed stork. But now it sounds like Jamie has got some lions playing. Let's go and have a look at those quickly.
As soon as I took his shade away, our male lion decided to continue with his playful antics, moving along the road. And all I can think is it feels like such deja vu, except this time it's in the daylight rather than in the evening. And I think we're going to catch up with them. I want to see whether or not they go to the spot where, because they're not quite in the spot where I lost them. They're actually in the spot where I found them. I want to go and see if they go straight back to where I lost them. And there seems to be a routine to the way that they do things. Let's let the vehicle ahead of me go and get a nice view. Now don't forget, all of this is live, so hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. Hey boys, I wonder where they come from. There's 6 young male lions when I first started working here that I saw twice. Alright, we're going to send you back across to Byron's saddle-billed stork while we fight off our gremlins this side.
Oh dear, I hope Jamie manages to sort out those few signal issues. I'm sure they will. But we've still got this beautiful saddle-billed stork perched up on a tree. Quite unusual to see it in this habitat, moving through a thicket down towards a drainage line. I don't think I've ever seen one away from water holes or pans, little pans of water. Beautiful, beautiful bird. Very nice to see the saddle-billed stork. There's also, if I'm not mistaken, I think the saddle-billed storks are also endangered. There are not many of them left. Yeah, they are listed on the endangered species list. So it is very special to see the saddle-billed stork. Even the habitat that they describe in the bird app says along large river systems or lake margins and wetlands. So it's interesting to see one walking through the bush. Lovely view of it. Starlight, these storks will feed on a lot of the time because they enjoy the wetland areas or rivers and pans or dams. They enjoy frogs and fish. Sometimes little reptiles, but no, I just want to double check something. Now it says also little birds, maybe some birds that they find around, chicks or anything like that close to the dams or water holes, crustaceans and aquatic insects. It says small mammals. Now I wonder, it's probably rodents. I wonder what other little small mammals a saddle-billed stork would eat. A mole, perhaps? I don't know if I found a mole. Laura Moore, these birds do not migrate. They are found here year-round. However, there may be movements, slight movements based on water availability and that in the winter months. But they are found resident in southern Africa. So they do not migrate. Oh, it's such a nice view of it. Now, Anna Marie, the saddle-billed stork, I think, is just over 1 meter tall. 1.5 meters, I think. Let me just double check for you. Yep, 1.5 meters tall. They can get up to 1.5 meters tall. About 6 kilograms in weight. It's a large bird. It's a very large stork. Trying to keep its balance, possibly looking for food from up there. I wonder. Look at that, almost as if it's doing a little dance for us. Ali, I don't know the altitude that storks can fly, and I don't think there's any app that will tell me that. You asked if they can fly as high as eagles. It depends. Well, I don't know, Ali. I'm not sure. I don't think the storks fly as high as some of the eagle species do. So I'm not sure, Ellie. I'm not sure. Brian, these storks are, they're generally in pairs. You often find a male and female together. However, it's not uncommon to find one by themselves. So either alone or in pairs. Now, Ali, some of the other stork species, like the white storks that migrate during our winter months, they would probably fly really high. So I wouldn't be surprised if they fly as high as as some of the eagles. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at that. There it goes. Oh, Ginger, you asked the wingspan of this stork, and I think it's 2.5 meters or something. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find it here quickly. Let's see. Wingspan over 2.5 meters. So about 2.7 there. It just disappeared again down in the drainage line. So about 2.7 meters. Yeah, so it's got a very, very large wingspan. Wonderful surprise. That was really unique. I'm so glad we got to see that. I'm going to carry on towards the hyena den. Let's head across to Tara, who's got some trees she wants to show you.
Well, it sounds like you really had a wonderful sighting, and quite unusual as well. Absolutely fantastic. And actually, we had what I think would have been the pair, the other pair, member of the pair, flying over. I couldn't quite see if it was a male or female. But yeah, we had it flying over towards Treehouse Dam, but it didn't look like it came down. But we'll still have a look as we drive past. But we've got the marula tree here with quite an ominous sky behind it. But I stopped to show you what's actually on the tree. Now, yesterday we had the elephants putting mud on their bodies, and it happens a lot more during the summertime. Just so that they can actually try and keep cool, and it also acts as a sunblock as well. Rhinos will do this. Even warthogs will cape themselves in mud. Buffalo as well. And of course, when it dries, they can pull out ticks. So if I show you how high up it actually is on the marula, but this is where an elephant actually scratched itself. You see why it's an elephant. So if you get me in, so it's up to about there, so this would be a nice part for the body, so they can just do that. But it does become smooth the more they use, and they have their favourite points where they like to actually rub against the trees, and they do actually smooth down. And this is also starting to become smooth, but it's still has a little bit of the bark showing through, so it's going to be a nice rubbing post. It's still going to be able to pull off the mud. And as I say, you can see the rest of the bark either side of the marula tree, and it looks like someone's actually hit golf balls at it, so parts of the bark actually flake away. So I've picked something else up along the way before we head round to the dam, and these are all along here. This is the bushman's torch or baboon's tail, and it does look a bit like the end of a baboon's tail. Now this one has been dug up by an elephant, so it's not one that I've broken away. I always try and pick one up that it won't survive, basically. So it's highly fibrous, and the reason why it's called a bushman's torch or a bushman's candle, it's got several different names, is because it's so fibrous and it doesn't really burn very well. So what's believed is the bushman may have used animal fats to put inside. So I've actually just broken this apart, so this came from in there. So the bushman would put animal fat in there, and actually a little bit of the coals that they may have produced from the fires, and then they can actually carry that along with them, so the coals can keep smouldering and the fat, and as they walk they can take that. Sorry, I should actually hold it up so you're not actually seeing the vehicle there. There we go. But they can carry that along to the next campsite, so it keeps the coals burning. So quite an amazing thing. I'm really hoping that isn't just a bush tail. It does make a lot of sense, and I say that's where it gets its name from. So bushman's candle or baboon's tail, for two very, very good reasons. So there we go. So we're going to go over the dam wall, I think, and do a loop around, and then head back, I think, maybe towards Spaghetti Junction. No, we're not going to go on the damn wall. We're not going to go on the damn wall. We're going to carry on this way, apparently. Looks like someone's stopped for a drinks break. Which could be why as well the stork didn't decide to drop down to the dam. Oh, lovely. It sounds like... Oh, and there's some dwarf mongoose there as well. Sounds like if we're able just to get a quick glimpse before we head over to the hyena den, it'd be lovely, because I haven't seen the dwarf mongoose. There we go. Ever alert. So it looks like they're a little bit late leaving home this morning. And funnily enough, they will actually form a relationship with the yellow-billed hornbill, and they've actually been known to wait for each other to wake up to go foraging together, because the dwarf mongoose can scurry around and use the hornbills to keep a lookout for predators high above them in the trees. But the hornbills get a tasty morsel if there's anything that the dwarf mongoose actually miss. It looks like the colonies is starting to wake up. A group of mongoose is called a business, apparently. I have no idea why. Let's get to business. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely does, doesn't it? Definitely does, doesn't it, Paul? Looks like it's saying, who are you? Wondering who we are. Just like the meerkats, they do seem to have a sentinel checking to see if everyone is okay. It doesn't look like there's any hornbills joining this group. But doing a little bit of grooming, making sure everyone's in tip-top condition to head out, foraging. A few of them are already at it. Oh, hi Izzy. And they're one of my favourite little critters as well, Izzy. Izzy absolutely loves them. And they're just so cheeky. South Africa's smallest carnivore, or true carnivore. Whoop. So somebody just gave an alarm call. I don't know if you quite heard that, but it was a tick, and everyone darted back into the tunnels. It was just one quick blast, so nothing to worry about. So if it carried on calling, then it would mean, you know what, the danger is still here. Keep below ground. It could be that they've been delayed on their wake up and moving off because of the cloud. Because usually they're a lot more active this time of day. Maybe they just decided they wanted to sleep in this morning. Maybe they had a late one last night. Oh, lovely. So it sounds like someone else has decided that breakfast is on the cards now. So I think Byron has got the hyenas, and it sounds like the little one is nursing. So I think that's very special. I think you need to see that. Enjoy.
Tara, you are right. We're at the hyena den, and luckily for us, the adult is out. Oh, our saddle-billed stork is flying over. There it goes. The same one that we saw, possibly now heading towards some water. If you are watching the dam cam, I wouldn't be surprised if this saddle-billed stork heads towards the Vuyatela Dam, or the Gowrie Dam. Djuma Dam, Vuyatela Dam. I don't know what the correct name is. It seems everybody calls it something else. Anyway, look at this little cub suckling at the moment. They are quite cute when they're young. They're very cute when they're young. And very curious. I decided to pour myself a cup of coffee and enjoy the sighting. So if you are watching and you're at home and having a coffee break, this is a perfect time. Always sitting with hyena. In my thermos, my flask, as we like to call it. Looks like that female has got a very... Oh, there's a loud woodpecker just knocking. You said that the hyena appears very fair coloured. And it is quite a light coat underneath, but yeah, some of the hyena, I think her back is most likely more of that golden brown with the black spots, but underneath they are quite light. Beautiful sound coming from the bearded woodpecker, busy knocking away at a tree. It's actually been a lovely morning. Giraffe, an owl, saddle-billed stork, hyena. Now all we need is a leopard. I'd love to find a leopard before I leave this morning. We'll see. It's still very overcast, very cool weather. It's also wonderful that these animals feel relaxed with us being at the den. Obviously we don't try to get too close to them so we don't disturb them. And it's interesting though. Often hyena, they'll walk past vehicles, but they, to get close and follow hyena is very difficult. They'll often just run off and run into the bush. The den sites are the best places to get close to them and to view them. Paul, you're saying this is such a lovely image. It is. And I'm sure you can all hear that woodpecker knocking, the bearded woodpecker. So it's a perfect scene, really. Mother hyena nursing its young, woodpecker knocking. Joe, you say she's got her eyes on me. Yeah, it does appear as if she's looking at us. Miss Sky, you asked if hyena only sleep at the den. No, definitely not. Miss Sky, hyena generally move around a lot. And now, this clan, we know there are other hyena in this clan. And they're probably elsewhere, most likely sleeping in a drainage line or in an area that's well covered and resting. They don't necessarily just sleep at the den. The female will generally, and some of the other hyena return to the den at times. But I mean the den is mainly for the female. Obviously the youngsters, the cubs. Now it's interesting. I think this is the first den I've seen that there is only one female and one cub. Usually when I've seen a den site and it's active, it's been a number of hyena and a number of cubs. So this is unusual for me. You can see those little paws or feet of the hyena very clearly. The pad at the bottom. Camping now, I need to think. I think this cub is about 3 months old, I would guess. I don't know, but I know a lot of the viewers have seen these cubs from a very young age, very soon after they were born. So if anybody else has a more accurate idea of how old they are, please let me know, or this cub rather. But I think it's about 3 months, maybe just over. I'm not sure. Just judging by the coloration, 2.5 to 3 months would be my guess. But let's find out. Let me wait for somebody to let us know. As I said, I've had some wonderful hyena sightings. At den sites, the youngsters coming up and they're very curious. They'll come and sniff the vehicles, and I've had hyena try to take our snack box off the back of the vehicle before. We've had to chase them away. The guests all thought it was very funny. Very curious and inquisitive. I must be honest, this is very relaxing. Also, the nice thing is, while we sit here, I can listen out for any alarm calls. If that leopard is still in this area, I can possibly listen to or hear alarm calls, hopefully. Okay, we Siberia Zumi says 2 to 3 months for the age of this little cub is about right. So I am right there, and judging by the, as I said, the coloration and the size, because the hyena cubs, when they are born, they're completely black. These little tiny little black cubs, and then as they get older, they start to develop the spots and that brown coloration. Now, I might sit here a few more minutes and just see if these hyena decide to move. But let's head across to Tara, who's got kudu prancing through the bush.
Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, we've just had 3 bull kudus just cross the road in front of us on Gowrie Main. So I'm hoping they're just going to come out into the open area. They seem to be, there we go, there's one walking there. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that corkscrew horn there. And just keeping a listen out with those satellite dish ears. Oh, okay, we'll go over the mound. I was going to say, that's not a usual way I'd have expected a kudu to go. Go around the mound. That's more sensible. Too much energy going up and over. That was very well camouflaged. So these are the kudu bulls. We tried to have a look for how heavy the horns are, and I seem to remember looking up that information, but I think it must have been in a book, because we can't find anything in papers or on the internet. So if anyone does find how heavy they can get to, seems to be one piece of information that is just not available, but I'm sure I have looked it up in the past, so I'll have to check my books when I get home. I'm wondering what he's hearing. Oh, whatever it is, he's not too fazed by it. Steffi also saying she loves the horns. They are. I think they're some of the most spectacular horns in the bush. And again, you can see that the large lump on the neck, which helps to counteract the weight of those horns. And so if you look for the nuchal lump just here, as he was disappearing into the bush, because those horns, they've got to be pretty weighty. I'm kind of thinking maybe around the 30 kilo mark, but as I say, we might have to try and do a lot more digging to try and find that out. So we're going to carry on down towards Twin Dams, but I've got another who dung it for you in the meantime. So if I actually try and squash it a little bit, because they are round, and if I hold on to that one, so as we zoom in you might be able to see. So quite small this time, quite pale in colour, and again if I break it open slightly you might be able to see inside. So quite fine fragments. So if you want to join in and let me know who you think this might be, hashtag Safari Live, or you can send it through to YouTube on the thread there, or even Facebook. So who dung it this morning? Just to get your brains working. So we're going to carry on down towards Twin Dams, see if there's any action around there. Seems as Byron's now in the north. And just to see if we've got any other leopard tracks crossing over from Arathusa in that direction, or Little Gowrie. And there's a daker through there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it before the name says to dive through the bush. There he goes. They're so fast, he might come out in the open area there. Oh sure, they really are such fast little antelope. And interestingly enough, they may even eat baby birds from ground nests. They can also eat fungus as well, so they don't have a very strict vegetarian diet. So quite an interesting little antelope, that one. Oh, apparently we have some answers for our who dung it. Can be Steenbok. Oh, you could have been, but not quite. It's a little bit too pale for Steenbok. They're just waving to some on the wall. Everyone's stopping for drinks breaks this morning. Ah, Racer. Well done. Grub hair. Yes, it was. So if I stop here, just so we're not disturbing the people on the wall there. So scrub hair, it's very pale and round. Here we go. Not going to lose the dung this time. So yeah, very, very round. You might think it looks like your pet rabbit if you've got a pet rabbit at home. So, and it does. It's obviously the same family. Now they're not a rodent. They're what we call a lagomorph. So slightly different to a rodent. The main difference is the teeth. So the rodent has the two front teeth that are very sharp, whereas the rabbits have two front teeth, and then directly behind they have two more front teeth. So they have kind of four altogether. But the scrub hare, it actually, when it first goes to the toilet, it's very dark colour, because they're not a four-chambered stomach animal. They do actually have what the hindgut fermenting stomach. So they have the cecum, so you have the small and large intestine, and that little bit that's our appendix basically, that's the cecum, and that is where the cellulose gets broken down. So not in the stomach, it's actually in between the intestines. So that's why they don't get a lot of nutrients from what they eat. Now the scrub hare and the rabbits have that same problem, but they're quite small. So to deal with that, they actually take their dung and eat it. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? But they do actually. This, you won't really find the dark dung, because obviously they've eaten it, and they'll take it straight from their anus as well. So they leave the pale stuff on the ground, so that's gone through the digestive system once or twice even, so it's very pale. Well done. So someone apparently has found out the weight of the kudu horn, so it'd be really interesting to hear that. Thank you so much, Benji. Benji saying the kudu horns from a male greater kudu, which are the kudus that we are seeing. There are lesser kudu as well. Apparently they can weigh 50 pounds. So what is that in kilos? Is that about 30 kilos? If someone can do a conversion for me. 23 kilos. Okay, so I wasn't far off with my estimation. Brilliant. Well done, Benji. You definitely have bragging rights, being able to source that information. So we're going to leave, we're going to head around the twin dams and see what we can find. So I think if you want to head over to see Byron and see what he's found from you as he leaves for you. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words here. So see what he's found for you leaving the hyena den.
So we left the hyena den. Those two, that adult and that youngster, were still lying down, but we made space for another vehicle to go in so they could have a look at the hyena. So because I want to try and have a look if we can't get any sign of this young leopard that was apparently in this area, or we think was in this area, but I don't know. Would be wonderful to see. Well, they said it was Shungile. It would be wonderful to see Shungile. For those of you wondering who Shungile was or is, it is a very well-known leopard that was born on Djuma, and her mother her name was Karula, and she was a leopard that was territorial on Djuma for many, many years. A very successful female. Gave birth to a lot of cubs, raised a lot of cubs, and but haven't seen this young female for quite some time. We've seen the young male. His name is Hosanna. We've seen him a few times recently, but haven't seen the young female. She seems to be quite elusive with us. But it's good that... So it was nice to hear that they did find her. Just spotted a little duiker and just darted off through the thicket. The duiker, the small antelope, actually very shy. They don't stand around for very long, and it's difficult to see them. Starlight, you were actually asking, would it be easier for Shungile to catch a duiker or an impala? Now, it would probably be easier for it to catch a duiker because the duiker are much smaller. However, the duiker are very alert, and I would say she'd have more luck going for impala because there's more of them. So, yeah, I don't know, but I think in terms of size, it would be easier for that young leopard to catch a duiker. She's only 1.5 years old, so a little tree squirrel. Nancy, you say you just don't know how we managed to see these animals in the bush. Nancy, we still miss a lot. I know for a fact I miss a lot out here. every now and then, yes, we do spot animals, and sometimes it's a great spot. I think what happens, Nancy, is it's a practice, being out here a lot and spending time and knowing what to look for, looking for things that seem out of place, a bit of movement, anything like that helps spot the animals. But I've worked with some trackers in the past that obviously grew up in the area, and some of the things that they spot just mind-blowing. And it's just a trained eye. It's looking for something that stands out. Now, for example, I was thinking, and I think this might be linked to, I might link it to a tip of the day, Byron's tip of the day, everyone. I haven't done the tips of the day for a while, but it's just, I suppose things have just been flowing nicely. But I've noticed now in winter being around here, we've been seeing a lot of other animals, a lot of owls, a lot of those little owls. We've been seeing interesting little creatures like that, interesting little birds. And I think my tip is that it doesn't matter what the season is, but appreciate what is available at that specific time. So different times of the year, different seasons are better for different birds, for example, or different animals. Is that a little squirrel on the tip of the branch there? It is indeed. Up there. Let's see if it stays there for us. There it is. Looks almost like it was waiting for the sun to come out. Little squirrel, I think you're going to wait quite some time. So as I was saying, I think depending on the time of year, depending where you are, every season, I think, provides something different. And enjoy each season when you are out on safari. And focus on the things that you are seeing regularly. So something like owls and that, those are unique, because some I know for a fact we struggle to spot them at times. There's a beautiful grey-headed bush shrike calling in the distance. A pearl-spotted owl just started calling. You might hear it, listen. But there were two calling. The one, I don't know, the one sounded like it was coming from this big tree behind us. I could be mistaken. But let's have a look. Craig is also very well trained in spotting owls. I'm parked here on purpose because we might see a silhouette of one, but I don't know. Craig, can you see anything yet? I don't know if it was in this tree. I'm guessing it was actually Laura Moore, you say this owl or that owl that we heard had a very nice clear call. It did indeed. Could have maybe been a bit further back. Let's see, wouldn't it be nice to see the pearl-spotted owl after seeing that barred owlet earlier? Craig, you better hope I don't spot it before you. Whenever we are not live, Craig keeps challenging me and keeps saying he's going to find another owl before I do. Craig's quite a bully, everyone. I am, of course, joking. The other night, actually, we heard Craig string an entire sentence together, which was longer than 10 words. We were also shocked. The camp went dead silent for about half an hour. We didn't know what to say or what to do. It was most entertaining, so thank you, Craig. Usually we get a grunt or a one-word answer. Shame, I'm picking on him now because he can't say anything back. You all know I am joking, and we have to give each other a hard time. Otherwise, we'll just keep each other on our toes, I suppose. I'm just scanning these trees a little bit. I don't see anything. Craig, anything your side? Nothing yet. Nancy, you say a cinematic sky. We've got the owl, everyone. We've got the owl. Oh, don't fly away. No. Okay, wait. I've seen it. Let's see if we can get it from here quickly, Craig. Did you see where it flew? Oh, it's sitting to the back there. Hold on. I think from here maybe. That's actually a nice view of it. Through there, Craig, is that okay? And there it is, the beautiful pearl-spotted owlet. Teamwork, Craig. Oh, that's great. So we heard these owls calling. It just shows you, if you take your time, you scan very, very carefully. Or where about? Also in there, over there. I thought I saw that. Is that something there? It is. No, you're right. I saw it. There it is. It is another one. 2 pearl-spotted owlets. That is wonderful. That's a nice surprise. So I think these are the. But you can see it's not easy to spot them. It's a bit easier now with these bare trees. Sorry, Alice, I didn't hear. Ricky said, what type of owls are they? Oh, midget owls. I thought she said vicious owls. I thought, well, I've never seen a pearl-spotted owl be too vicious. Midget owls, they are tiny. They are very small. There we go. That one's starting to call. Come on. I'd love to hear the whole call. Joe, you said they just kind of blend in. That one is actually quite easy to spot now. You can see it's because we've positioned ourselves in a way you can see that silhouette of it very clearly. Okay, listen to them for a second. Oh, I think they were either fighting or mating there. Now, I do know these pearl-spotted owlets can get a bit aggressive with each other, or territorial rather. Now, that one just flew into the other one. I don't know if it was mating or if it was just fighting. And now there are some other little birds that are making a noise. the southern black tit that is mobbing those owls, making a lot of noise. Now, these little birds, these little owls or birds of prey will get chased by other birds. Oh, there's a lovely bird. Now, Izzy, you asked why are they called the pearl-spotted owls. I don't know what the exact reason is. I think it's got something to do with that very light, pale breast, and then the markings or streaking down the front. But actually, you know what it is, Izzy? I think it's because of the white markings, the white spots on the forehead. I'll try to show you a picture shortly, but there we go. There they go. Those other birds chasing that one. Oh, might hear it calling again. It's still sitting up at the top of the tree. Actually, if you have a look up there, it's beautiful. You've got the owl in the middle, and then just look off to the right. Those are two golden-breasted buntings. Oh, those golden-breasted buntings just flew off, but the owl is still sitting there. And then there was another bird that was up here. Has it flown off? There was a black-headed oriole that flew off too. But lovely birds around here at the moment. So just quickly, if you have a look here, and unfortunately on these apps I can't zoom in, but if you look closely, you can see those little white spots on the forehead. And I think that's where the name pearl-spotted owl comes from, is those little dots. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. Well, that was wonderful. 2 owls, 2 different species, the barred owl at first, and now 2 pearl-spotted owls. That's wonderful. I think let's head across back to Tara, and she's got some more trees to show you.
So I think Byron's having all the luck this morning by the sounds of it. So having a barred owlet and a pearl-spotted owlet, that's amazing. Absolutely fantastic to see. So really to see the two contrasts as well, which is great. So we found a buffalo thorn for you, and I would love to hear Byron's comments on whether he's actually tried the coffee that apparently can be made from it. So we don't have the fruits on it this time of year, but apparently you can take those fruits and make a pulp from them. You can eat them like a porridge, or you can roast them and produce a coffee from them. So he dissed my tea yesterday. I don't know whether I've put many years between me and the tea from the russet bush willow. But I certainly seem to remember being pleasantly surprised at how nice it tasted. So, yeah, we're not sure what happened there, but Byron definitely doesn't like it. But certainly it'd be interesting to hear what his thoughts are on the coffee that can be made. But I wanted to show you the thorns on the tree. Now, there's 2 different types of thorns. There's thorns and spines. So thorns are actually modified leaves, and spines are actually modified branches. So actually I should really say spines on this tree, because the spines are actually the modified branches. So that's what they are. And you can see there's one straight long horn and there's one hooked horn or spine, and that, believe me, when you get caught in that, you will not be let go. It is incredible. You can just literally hold your arm out and it's almost like it just holds you there. And the reason why it's probably called a buffalo thorn is because buffalo quite often will use these to protect themselves against lions, because they can back into it and then they can protect themselves with the horns from the front, and the buffalo thorn will protect them from behind. It really is wicked looking, Joe, and it's not a nice tree, believe me. And if you accidentally find a small one, it grabs you by the ankle and it is painful. The Afrikaans for it is shiny-leafed wait a bit, and you can see the leaves there. Unfortunately, the sun isn't shining for us today, but the leaves are quite waxy and they shine up. So it's blink blah wakabiki, so shiny-leafed wait a bit. And you are going to be waiting for a bit. But you can also eat the leaves as well. It is the young leaves you can eat as a spinach. And quite a special tree for the Zulus, I believe. Hey, Senzo. So quite a special tree. And I remember asking a manager who was a Zulu as well, and I said, why is the buffalo thorn so special? And he said to me, you know what, you don't question your mother. You just, if she says it's special, it's special. So quite a special tree, and to do with collecting spirits. Lisa saying her dad used to plant bushes with thorns outside her bedroom window. Was that to stop you escaping? Sneaking out at night? It would definitely stop me, I tell you. You don't want to be getting caught up in those. So, yes. Oh, lovely. Oh, you're in for a treat with this one. I think Jamie in the Mara. And as I say, this is blowing my mind that we can actually jump from South Africa to the Mara in a split second. So we've had saddle-billed storks down here in South Africa. Now we're going to go and see another large bird, the secretary bird. Amazing. Enjoy that, guys.
Oh. Manu, we are live. I'm not sure how long we have been live, but we are now live. Sorry about that, everyone. As you may or may not have gathered, we've been fighting off gremlins this morning, and in this case, my radio communications didn't want to work, and the only reason that I know I'm live is because I glanced down, saw the sign that the radio was actually broadcasting, and then looked at my phone. So, I saw first today, my very first ever in the history of all the time that I've spent out here in the bush, I saw a secretary bird chase a wildebeest. And I don't just mean that the wildebeest saw the secretary bird and got a bit of a fright. I mean the secretary bird actively opened its wings and ran towards the wildebeest, and the wildebeest turned around and panicked and sprinted away. So there you go. That is something that you really don't expect to see. I'm so glad that we get to see this particular bird of prey. It really is one of my favorites. They're stunning creatures. And their look is just thoroughly completed by that crown of feathers on the top of their... I don't know if you'd call it a crown. It's like some kind of elaborate headpiece that you see on some kind of catwalk. And that combined with their walk really gives them the impression of some sort of supermodel, I think anyway. They're beautiful. I wonder if... Let's try and get a bit further forward, Manu, so that we've got a better view. Oh, and by the way, we're in the middle of the migration. There were probably a couple of 100,000 wildebeest behind me that I've just come through. And there's more up ahead. Whoop, and you've got to stay in the middle of the road, otherwise you slide. Let's just try for one more view of the secretary bird. Let me make sure there's no one coming up behind me. I've gone off in search of the sausage pride, or the sausage tree pride to be more technically correct, which is the pride of lions that we spent the whole of Friday night with. But no sign of them, and to be honest, I don't want to really risk getting stuck in the mud around that area. And we'll wait for it to dry out a little bit. It was pouring with rain. Manu, can you... Oh, there we go. Well done. I'm laughing out loud at a comment coming through from Joe, who says, a bird wearing my mother's hat. I would have loved to have seen your mother's hat, Joe. It definitely reminds me of some very elaborate hat. They pull it off with a certain sense of style. Not, of course, Joe, that your mother didn't as well. I'm sure that she did. But secretary birds do look really spectacular. There is a nest that we found, a secretary bird nest, but unfortunately it's beyond our boundaries of signal at the present time. I'm sorry, Manu. That was my fault. I just wanted to shuffle forward a little bit. There you go. And watch it stalking through the grass. Now, for those of you that are new to our live safaris, a secretary bird is an excellent snake hunter. That is what they are built for. Long, long, long legs without any feathers, and with very thick skin to be almost impenetrable to the fang of a snake. what they'll actually do when they encounter things like cobras is they will kick them until the bird is stunned, and then they'll grab them with their beaks and kill them and eat them. And that is what secretary birds specialize in. Many, many, many years ago, when I was in high school, the symbol of my high school was a secretary bird. Well, the coat of arms had a secretary bird on top of it, and there was a statue of a secretary bird in the garden. This is high school, all girls high school, and there was a new teacher who just arrived, and we were all walking past, and she called us all over. She went, "Girls, girls, 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 shh, get down, get down. There's an amazing bird in the garden." And of course we all played along, being horrible little creatures that all teenage girls are. And we all ducked down and hid and waited for her to figure out that she was pointing out a statue. He was going for something over there. Shame, we were horrible. She was so embarrassed. Poor thing. She had just arrived as well. Lisa, you wanted to know whether or not, according to Lou, they're best in the ground or in trees. And that, of course, is autocorrect, playing games with Louise, because she's having to text message me your questions. They don't best on the ground, they're best in trees, also known as nesting in trees. So they build nests on the top of things like shepherd's trees and acacias. A very messy, very typical raptor's nest, very typical bird of prey nest. And they'll often reuse the same nest site over and over. Well, I think it is time for us to say farewell to you all. We have battled off the gremlins this morning. We're going to go and take Mila back home for some TLC. So, we'll say farewell to you for now, and we'll send you back across to Byron. I wonder if he's had any luck with leopards.
No, unfortunately not, Jamie. No luck with leopards. It's alright. Maybe later this afternoon you might get to see a leopard. I think big boss man Tristan will be back. He'll be back on drive this afternoon with Tara. The terrible T's. Tristan, Taylor, Tara. Taylor's on leave, apparently enjoying it very much. And Tristan would have just got back from leave, I think. Well, I think he was away this weekend. So we'll see. Hopefully he has some luck when he returns. It's still very cool this morning. The clouds are still above us. It's actually lovely. I like days like this. Winter days like this. It's different. Right, Tara mentioned the buffalo thorn, the seeds of the buffalo thorn, or those little seeds. If it's good coffee, I've heard it being used as coffee. I've never tried it before, and I don't think I will really. I don't know what it would taste like. And Tara was mentioning the tea yesterday of the russet bush willow, and I spoke to her when I got back to camp. I asked her, Tara, have you ever had or tried that tea? It's terrible. She said she thinks she remembers having it, but it was so long ago. She thought it was quite nice, but hang on, there's another vehicle coming past. Let me just greet everyone quickly before we end the show. I'll just wave. Morning, everyone. Goodbye. There we go. Some guests out on their safari for the morning, heading back. No, it's been a wonderful, almost 3 weeks for me, huh? Quite a long stint this time, which was very, very nice, very pleasant. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it. I don't think there were too many complaints, so that's a good thing. Barbara, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I'll miss everyone here too, but I'll be back soon again. Like I said, towards the end of the month. back again for a stint, about another 10 days or so, but then I'm away for quite a while. But thank you very much to Tara and Senzo on the other vehicle, and of course a big thank you to Batman. Craig, thank you, sir, always a pleasure. And thanks to the ladies in my head, the voices in my head, the ladies of the final control. It was Alice, the Dark Horse, Black Beauty, that was directing this morning. I'm trying to get that nickname to stick, so I think if I pass it on to Tristan, he'll definitely continue it. James called Alice Siri. So Alice says it's Black Beauty or Dark Horse is better than Siri. So that's it. But a big thank you to all of you again for all the questions and comments, not just today, but the last 3 weeks or so that I've been here. It's been wonderful and always nice hearing from all of you. And we will see you all soon. But don't forget Sunset Safari this afternoon again. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you all soon.